Welcome to another video. As you provided a vast amount of feedback on the 6.0 job topic, I want to go through your amazing ideas and thoughts before hopping into my own speculations and ideas in the next video. Thanks already for your insane participation, and without further ado, let's start. Okay, the first one is from Nick and is the most upvoted comment from you guys, so he says that a time mage would be cool and something we haven't seen in a long time. Though they fit better as support or crowd control than a healer, but Final Fantasy XIV doesn't have a strictly support class like Final Fantasy XI, so maybe it would be a healer support rework like Bard is a DPS support. Also he bets people want to see Geomancer return. Yeah, I get you, man, I get you. I think the idea of having a healer support rework is a good idea, but as for the current state of things, healers don't focus on healing anymore, at least in high-end optimization or mediocre optimization. So the worth or value of this job would decrease as at the point where people are progressing onwards with their own, increasing skill level or whatever, or progress in content. I don't like the idea that being strictly a healer support for healing purposes. So yeah, I think overall having a group support would be the best solution to this. To just buff the whole group more than the Astrologian does, or maybe they remove that from the Astrologian and focus more on a dual healing system with shields and something there that replicates the white mage healing. But yeah, I don't think that you can do support for healers only. You need a support for the whole party. Geomancer is a logical bet for most people, but more to that in my video where I talk about the origins and the ideas, how it could be lore-wisely introduced into the game. Francesco wants a Blitzballer range DPS, really just wants Waka, the may disguise as a juggler, aside from that green mage. Nice to be making a job that uses buffs, debuffs to help the party. Lastly, Judge, because Judge, I mean, have you ever seen a Final Fantasy Judge? They're so cool. Yeah, upvoted. You're right about that. They really look cool. I would love to have a Judge mixed up with a Holy or Dark Knight from Final Fantasy Tactics, so that he will use ranged attacks like Gaius does in the fight in the main scenario, Castrum Meridianum. Castrum Praetorium is it, yeah. He uses some magical attacks where, I think all the judges do that actually. In Heavensward you fight another one. So it could be, drawn on that weaving magical blade attacks that you throw at your enemies, and I would like that. I would like to see that. I don't like the idea of another colors themed mage or color themed class like the green mage, because I think we need something fresh. We don't want to go through all the colors of the spectrum for all the jobs. I never liked that idea on of course, white mage, black mage, red mage, these are the obvious choices. I don't like the idea of blue mage, but I think it's perfectly fine for a limited job. Your no tank main but time battle mage could be an interesting hammer wielding tank that uses Gaia time magics. Oh yeah, that's actually a great idea. I'd love to see that, because I think Gaia could be sort of a snapshot for what we can expect for the new job. Whatever it may be, it could wield a two-handed hammer. With some cloth, so actually having no heavy armor. I would love that idea. You've been talking with your boyfriend about the possible chemist job with a sort of mudra system like the ninja have currently. Depending what combination you use, the ability will have different effects. Yeah, we talked about that in the past live stream that I did, and I agree on that. I think having mudra systems is something that is unique and that really differentiates the job from other jobs. So having this for a healer job would be a good idea actually. And I think chemist is much likely a good bet to be added into the game, even maybe for the limited job. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to not spoil you for actually my video and what they really could implement into the game. Orator, destroy my enemies with sick verses. That is great. Maybe an int-based tank inspired by Dragon Inquisition would be a barrier-based damage mitigation with MP taking some of the damage. I think that is actually what Dark Knight does. Yeah. I would say that the Dark Knight already does this. What is the answer to this? Yeah, sounds like Dark Knight. I think for the same idea, I think it's actually a Dark Knight. A chemist with muta-like system to mix chemicals plus can literally be a drug dealer. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I would like that. Chemist with muta system. New healer should be either magician, wizard, or priest. Okay, yeah, that is a good idea for naming them. I don't think we will see Time Mage, as a lot of these concepts were rolled into Astrologian or Astrologian, how many people are pronouncing that. I think we will definitely see one healer and one DPS. Geomancer is the most unique and unused job. It would be perfect for a magical range DPS who has an identity around ground-centric damaging puddles. Oh yeah, I don't know. I know it's from Geo, but yeah, more to that on my 2 cents in the next video. But yeah, Geomancer is an obvious choice. Let's see if it's really a healer or DPS, because if I remember correctly from Final Fantasy Tactics, yeah, the Geomancer is actually a melee job. You encounter some NPC Geomancers that are in the opponent's party. They actually go for melee combat and strike you in melee range. So yeah, could be something. Other unused jobs include arithmetician, chemist, and oracle, all which could be easily rolled into a unique healing class. Yeah, I think oracle. I don't know what in Final Fantasy Tactics the oracle had. I think these were all these mathematical calculation spells that actually didn't make much sense to me, but it somehow works there. It could be a solution, and maybe yeah, foreseeing the future, we could have this in our dear yeah, in some dear, I don't want to spoil any story here. This will be in the next video as well. Yeah, could be seen in our dear Crystal Exarch, for example. Could be an oracle or whatever. Not that we need another DPS, but I've had Spellblade stuck in my thoughts as a magical melee DPS, maybe wielding something like a one-handed saber or falcon. Yeah, that's actually not so bad idea. I think Spellblade consuming the MP or the magical energy of the enemy, causing damage in that way, that would be nice. I know most people hate the whole unique job quirk of Blue Mage, but I definitely love how unique it is. So first things, I want to see another one by 5.5. The 2 jobs I want most in the game now is Beastmaster and Chemist, and would both work as normal or limited jobs. Yeah, you're right about that. I think they could easily introduce that into a limited system or into an ordinary system. But what Brian and Mione said in their video, which I was really impressed about and I really like the idea, is that yeah, for example, you could also introduce another feature or content to the game by introducing the Beastmaster as a limited job, while the Blue Mage catches up all the spells, the unique spells that sort of form your rotation and form your selection and your roster of spells. The Beastmaster could have that for actual beasts and enemies you could fight in over whole Eorzea or Novrand or whatever. I think that could be a good opportunity for a limited job that can be introduced to provide content that people are really liking, in the form of that if you level up, you my biggest thing about limited jobs is that you don't have any contribution to the system, to the general content, to the normal standard content. So I would at least say that the Beastmaster in this case should be able to use these pads visually or like minions, and you can only get access to these pads or some of these pads as minions if you play the Beastmaster. So sort of they lock that behind this content. Of course they need to make it enjoyable, but then you have this opportunity to also provide content for Square to yeah, fill some holes and fight against content drought or anything like that, but also provide people something that can use for the standard content. My biggest drawback, I don't know if I'm completely wrong at this, I have no clue about Blue Mage, but as far as I know, Blue Mage doesn't provide anything to the standard appearance or whatever you have. Not visually, not in any gimmick form, or yeah, actually on content based. So he doesn't provide anything to the standard play, to the standard content, which I don't like. And I think this should be something they implement there. So you should definitely have the opportunity to drive this content into an addition or into an advantage, not on the playstyle wise, but on an advantage visually or whatever, a reward, an achievement that helps you in getting this done, a mount, whatever, something like this. Okay, Umbra says, like to see Chemist, Healer, Mystic Knight, Melee DPS, and maybe Beastmaster as a limited job. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. That's actually a good idea. Yeah, let's see how they introduce that. Mystic Knight, I think Mystic Knight is a good solution, how you could name these Holy Knight and Dark Knight without being too much referring that to already present jobs. So yeah, let's see how that turns out to be another solution. You put your bet on Geomancer, Healer and Psychic Caster. I don't know what a Psychic is, but maybe my initial thoughts go to a Shadow Priest, removing that shadow aspect, so working on Mind Blast and Mind Control, all these things, just without the shadow aspect there. That's actually a good idea. I think could be sort of something we could see for a healer, actually. So caster, healer that heals by dealing damage with these psychic things. But yeah, more to that in my conclusion, in my 2 cents for this topic. If you don't get a new healer as a time mage, I will have hysterics. Personally, however, I'm hoping the next healer will be of the dark variety. Vampire possibly, which is a very rare job in Final Fantasy. I don't count Astro Noctsect as being the dark style, so hoping for a healer job that is in a different vein than we have. Yeah, that's true. That's why I set my heart there. That's actually completely on par with what I think a healer could be established like, and especially on the gameplay side of things, having that dark DPS based theme, yeah, which I would like to see, mostly because I think it's Square's responsibility to introduce players to the game style and not mine or the balances or whatever content creators' responsibility to help people learning the job. If Square already solves that and provides this help to people by just amazing tooltips or whatever, and this definitely works on some jobs. I think Red Mage is a job you can easily learn with common sense by just reading your tooltips, and Dancer maybe as well. So yeah, I think this is a good opportunity to introduce the casual community to a more expertise, more expert like high-end optimization style, without always having these social problems and issues between that casuals think that the experts are elitists and consider them as elitists, and they act like being dicks and telling them that, yeah, you're a casual, you don't have any clue about this game, please listen to your wise teacher that has all the knowledge that you don't have, and stuff like that. It's most of the times it's not true, actually. They're very nice and very kind and polite, high-ranked players that provide some good assistance and support and help casuals, or which is also a bad naming for this topic. But I think, to make it short, if Square can achieve that by telling people, okay, you are a healer, but like Link said, for example, in this video, you are also a DPS job. All players, all jobs are DPS jobs, because if you all deal a certain amount of DPS, content will get much more easy here. So this is really something they could strike that topic, and they could get the chance of introducing a healer that is clearly healing through making more damage. And of course, he shouldn't be. We could easily split that. He could easily split something that yeah, you always have to support this healer. Maybe if you're on the top end of this skill of the skill onto this job, you could possibly heal your group, but yeah, as you always need 2 healers, that you really need 2 healers with this one, and not like it is right now. If one healer dies in certain content, the other healer can easily do that on his own, no problem. He can easily withstand the healing part of all this, which of course then makes some issues or creates issues on the damage department. But yeah, I think that would be the perfect chance for Square to introduce the players that, yeah, damaging DPS is a thing for healer and tanks as well. You're not giving up on Beastmaster being a tank. Yeah, the idea is nice that actually your tanks or your pets could tank the boss, but I think I could also see this as a feral, so not being like in World of Warcraft a cat or a bear, but being a ferocious beast in some sort of that really tank the boss, and maybe being a bit large on the scale. But yeah, that's actually difficult with yeah, races and stuff like that. But the idea could be something that the Beastmaster doesn't use any AI apart from being the beast itself. So I would like to see that. Maybe they will have brilliant ideas about it. You'd like to see Camus as a healer, Geomancer as a caster, Puppet Master as ranged, and Onion Knight as melee. Beastmaster tanks sounds crazy. Yeah, I think Onion Knight is a good idea, but I cannot get any thoughts about an Onion Knight. What this onion of the night is actually the unique and special feature to this. I don't know. Would love to see another tank based on Garland from the Dissidia games. He's pretty unique too, with his sword being able to extend all that. It could also be also have a unique buff with his Soul of Chaos, which could possibly open up skills that have to deal with Chaos himself. Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with Dissidia games so much, but yeah, Garland would fit, of course, not only from the name to Garlemald, and this style of Garland is something that yeah, is knight-like. You could see this as a tank, or maybe what I would love to see actually is a really heavy armored melee DPS. That is something like we have seen in Death Knights in World of Warcraft, or have seen in Retribution Paladins in World of Warcraft, or warriors are also heavy armored in WoW. So yeah, I would love to see that. I would love to see a heavy armor tank that maybe be a bit more bulky and have more endurance against certain tank busters or raid busters actually, that he can help the tanks with, or at least have the most sustainable durability against these form of AoEs and raid busters, that he always will stand as the last DPS standing. So yeah, that would be a good idea, I think. Other than the obvious Geo possibility, I would love a DPS class that I can utilize like the offhand slot with, so paladins wouldn't be so lonely. Maybe sword and gun combo. Bring me my cannoneer and buccaneer class, please. Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I could also see dual wielding Geomancers wielding 2 axes or something like that. Like, when talking about a Geomancer, there's an obvious relation to the Shaman in World of Warcraft, and yeah, why not go for that? We are talking about elements, we're talking about harnessing the power of the elements, and also turning that into strong melee combat, for example. That could be a good idea. I think fans of the Enhancer Shaman from World of Warcraft would love that. So yeah, a good idea, a good idea. I want to believe we are absolutely getting a new healer next expansion. I do not see it being Time Mage, despite the fact Ast has a lot of its time-themed abilities removed. I'm optimistic about it being something akin to Chemist myself. However, bearing that it would like to see is a healer that does most of its damage from melee. With a ranged nuke they can throw out for fights they have to spread out. Yeah, that's actually the opposite of Red Mage, what you tell about. Being more in the melee range and then having a ranged nuke. Yeah, the opposite like the Red Mage has right now. But yeah, of course, that's a good idea. I think healer is a must. Healer is a must for the next expansion. If they don't add another healer, people could get angry there. I'm not sure if they're really angry, but at least they could get disappointed. You would love for Beastmaster to be the next limited job. It's always been a cool concept for me ever since Final Fantasy XI. Though I never got into the game, I feel that it could fit well in a similar style as Blue. Maybe in the idea that you collect monsters. Yeah, that's what I said. That's actually what I was talking about. Name real job would be Geomancer because it was in the same boat as Dancer was in how people were asking, expecting it. Yeah, I think Geomancer is the most obvious bet I would have for... If I would bet money, it would definitely go for Geomancer. In whatever occasion, in whatever style he may be introduced as a healer, I think Geomancer is not a tank, to be honest. But I would love to see a ranged a caster melee job. That is something I would love to see. Something that really focuses on enhancing his weapons, maybe through MP and through correct use of your rotation, but also being more focused on the melee range. Maybe you have like who said that? Yeah, like Onion Cultist, Lord of the Onion said, yeah, having a ranged nuke so that you mostly stay in melee range and build up your magical energy, for example, and then go back to the distance and throw in fearsome battle axe that is empowered with all your magical power or whatever. Yeah, that is something I would love to see. Truthfully, I want Seer. I feel their game could benefit from a DPS-centric healer in Seer with the Magic Frenzy ability being similar to Red Mage. Yeah, I think this is something that I mentioned, having a DPS-oriented healer would be nice. That would be awesome. Magic Melee fits Gaia, War Armor, then Caster-looking clothing. Geo fits a healer based on 8-man theme. Yeah, I think Melee DPS with Caster clothing, yeah, I told about that. I would love to see that. Geo fits healer, yeah, I'm not sure about this. If it's really a healer job, could also be a DPS job for melee magical damage. I think it could be cool if the next tank be the Time Battle Mage, using a two-handed mace hammer and using time spells, haste slow, etc. to create aggro. That's actually a good idea. I think it's not the time for another tank. We could wait a bit more for the next tank. But yeah, I really like the idea of it. So yeah, let's see what Square throws at us. No more new jobs, they will make new advancement jobs for all current jobs. Okay, that is actually a good idea, but I don't think that Square will do that. I think they're sticking to their standard system for at least some time, as long as it is running for them. I think they're having a good progression with Shadowbringers and a vast amount of positive feedback, and that is well deserved, of course. So I think they will stick to their roots and stick to their system behavior like they already did for the past 5 years. So yeah, I'm not really sure what direction Yoshi-P will take in terms of jobs. Personally, I'd love to see another healer and another magical range DPS, or even another tank. I'd love to see jobs like Templar, Geomancer, Arithmetician, Puppet Master, or Beastmaster. I have also thought of how could introduce an evolution of the Soul Stones and make it your class could evolve, kind of like Warrior evolving to Barbarian or Ninja evolving to Assassin. Guess one can dream. Yeah, I think it will be a dream for a while, but at some point maybe they go into an advanced job system like we have in World of Warcraft, for example. Okay, a game that would earn me money to buy A job that would earn me money to buy the game would be nice. Yeah, that's great. That's really great. Tell me about it. No. 100% certain Geomancer will be in 6.0. 80% sure it will be a healer. Okay. I'm not sure if Geomancer is a healer, to be honest. But we'll see. Oh, Mark, greetings. Think there will be one new job that's a healer. Like to see new races continue to be brought into the game, but I don't think that it will happen. Maybe a compromise of male Viera and female Rothgar would be nice. My total guess for job name is Geomancer for the healer. I would like to think it wasn't a caster, but we know it will be a caster, right? I'm not sure if we know that, but I would bet that Geomancer could also be a melee job, or yeah, actually a melee healer would be my biggest excitement, really. A melee healer that attacks the enemy and provides damage and heals with that. That would be the best possible solution I would wish for. The Geomancer being a melee healer. That would be awesome. That would be really awesome and groundbreaking, actually. Would love a Time Mage or Geomancer. Yeah, we all love that. I think that is the common opinion right now. Oh my god, I need a judge job like a plate, dual wield, DPS, have to work around to make it not too tanky, I guess, but I think that would be awesome. He'll be even settled for a judge tank, but prefer the deeps. Yeah, I think having a heavy armor plated melee DPS is something we're still missing. I think Dragoon disengaged from that idea of having a armor heavy melee DPS, because he's actually the floor tank. He's a tank and he's using the armor but for other things. So he's actually very, very fragile to movement and to AoEs and all that stuff. So I don't think we have that form of bulky melee DPS that I would love to see being introduced to the game. We desperately need another healer, yeah. Viking, Time Mage, Chemist and Geomancer haven't been done yet. I can't remember what other jobs there are. Some of them are kinda out there. It's insanely stoked for a Time Mage to come out though. Yeah, I think it's a difficult idea and a difficult speculation this time. The last time was a bit easier. I think some of us didn't expect Gunbreaker to be added, or at least not being added as a tank. But when they came up with the idea and spoiled us with some teasers, I think everyone agreed that it's a good choice and the only obvious thing that works there. One healer, I want to see something like Plague Doctor or Ghost Doctor. Use Pole Totem. I don't know what a Pole Totem is, but I like the name of Plague Doctor, but Plague Doctor maybe doesn't fit much. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe to the story part with this plague or this poison that they spread in Garlemald, and yeah, Chemist could also fit nicely into this Garlemald theme where they are experimenting with Magitech and experimenting with all that vials and all that poisons and all that stuff. So Chemist could actually be more the most obvious relation to this expansion, to this Garlemald theme. If it goes that direction, we're not certain about this. I think it could also be a complete different topic in the next expansion. But yeah, I think Garlemald is the obvious choice there. One ranged physical DPS, no idea, maybe Puppet Master or something, so we will get all 4 tank, healer and 3 types of DPS. Yeah, that's true. I would guess we are going to get 2 new jobs in 6.8. I would like that. I would love to have 2 jobs being introduced. Otherwise, having a single job being in-game is always difficult, because yeah, then all people will play this job and center on this job, and the queues will get horrible. I don't know. I don't like that having one single job being introduced, but it could be possible actually, because of yeah, COVID-19 delays, and I don't know how much they are on par with the schedule. It could be possible this time, and yeah, I think we can bear this. We can bear that, no problem. since we got a new tank and ranged physical last expansion probably won't be one of those again. Yeah, I think we're not expecting a tank or a ranged physical DPS, so something different. Everything else then I think that's out as well. So getting a new healer and new caster to let them catch up to the melees would make the most sense in my opinion. And yes, I know there's technically 4 casters already, but I just ignore that blue mage exists. Yeah, that's true, Philip. You're absolutely on par with my idea. I think this is the obvious choice, having the caster setup, the caster role, caster roster being filled up with another job. And yeah, healer is a must, I think. If there's one job, it needs to be healer then. Because then they can throw out more content or more people into healing, which is definitely demanded right now. And I think even when the queues are still nice as tank, with healer they're still better. So I think healer are still the most demanded job right now. We need a healer and a physical range to make 4 jobs in each category. Yeah, I think... Yeah, we don't have 4 jobs in the caster category because you cannot count blue mage towards that role, because it doesn't have the same competition like the others have in actual content. I think they should add another healer and perhaps another mage, since blue mage is limited to have 4 of each type of jobs. Then they should look into allowing us some choices within the jobs themselves, perhaps being able to choose a path, perhaps give red mage a healing stance and allow them to queue for healing stuff like that. Yeah, that is actually a good idea. I was talking about, or I was thinking about in my own 2 cents for this job topic, that I would love to see another introduction of this 2-sided coin of one job, like the Summoner and Scholar have. I would love to have something introduced that also reduces their workflow maybe. And you may not level both at the same time at level 70. So you level them both at the same time until hitting up level 70. And then you have to choose the path. Or you have to choose the path before, but then you have to choose which path you will definitely level. And the other one is left behind then. Yeah, I'm talking about that in my video as well. I'd like to see a singer support class. I don't know how they do that. I think it will be neat. Yeah, I think Bard could be that. I think Bard could be always returning to this, more focused on support and singing and not being the archer, obviously. Necromancer class would be cool though. Yeah, I would like Necromancer. But I don't think how that job description would fit into the actual plot. It's a bit difficult with necromancy. Yeah, we have this in Tamtara Deepcroft and the Deep Dungeon and stuff like that. It's in-game, but I don't think that it's a native element to the plot of Final Fantasy. I'd say they probably be a DPS support though. Gravity magic would likely be their offensive field, with things like haste and quicken being their support and stop being an interrupt. Not sure how they could implement slow without breaking the game. Yeah, I think Time Mage is still one of my obvious favorites, at least. After Geomancer, my bet would go for Time Mage or Chemist, actually. I don't know. These are really obvious things. I don't care which is, just for the love of God, give me a new healer class. Yeah, I think most people will throw in everything to get a new healer job. That's definitely unique and very different to the ones we already have. But yeah, we'll see. I'm not sure if they dare that, if they are brave enough to do the DPS healing step or anything like that. It could be also a full shield healer or anything. Yeah, we don't have a full shield healer, for example. I think that Time Mage could be a tank. Ought to be, but badass if they can make that constant. I think healer-wise, cleric damage or healer, Geomancer as a damage healer, and last option, Chemist, direct healer. Yeah, that's actually great. Without, yeah, I don't think Time Mage should be a tank, because yeah, tank wouldn't be the obvious choice for the next expansion. I don't think we have another tank. to be part of it. Beast Tamer would be cool to see. Yeah, absolutely. It really needs to be a healer, so we have 4 of each, absolutely. The only thing that is clear, no new healer, sadly. We have everything covered that would be possible in that field. Yeah, Facehawk, not everything. I think we're still missing DPS healing. So really, what we do is we're healing and we're DPSing, but there's no interaction instead of the Lily system from the White Mage, but it's no direct interaction. It's just pushing out healing spells gives you opportunities to damage. But I'd like to see this more in a strict connection and yeah, with a direct consecution of this. So you deal damage and you heal this percentage of healing to your party. So you really push out that damage. Of course, not as far as the DPS job could deal, but maybe more than other healers and more than the tanks would do. So I would love that sort of job, and I think that would be a very heavy hype for all those endgame progress raiders that yeah, you have to have a downside there, so that you cannot go for 2 of these healers, for example. You have to make content much more healer focused. I think this is something they are still lacking, that really demand ASAP healing. So for example, yeah, let me give you a good example. The perfect downside of this, or the perfect combo breaker, if you call it like that, would be Titan's Tumult Phase. Eden 4 Savage, Titan's Tumult Phase. This should be the obvious break that this healer couldn't do it. Maybe giving him another set of actual healing spells, but this should be the combo or the counterpart where yeah, other healers are required, and you need a full healer job being introduced into this. I think, yeah, I'm not sure about this. We will see, we'll see. Maybe you have another amazing feedback on this video, especially when we talk about this together. And yeah, I would always love to have you on my live streams where you can talk about this actually the whole time, if you like. Necromancer can be playable as a full healer job and a full DPS job. Yeah, I wouldn't call it Necromancer. I think, yeah, Geomancer or yeah, Chemist actually, or Time Mage, whatever, would fit more for the actual plot. But as Garlemald is also very dark and the mood is actually very bleak, we could also see Necromancy. I'm not sure. We also have got Necromancy in game, and I don't want spoilers, but there's a certain character that we are constantly encountering that had been dead, I think, to give you my idea about this. So Necromancy is in game. We have seen this in Tamtara, Deepcroft, and the Deep Dungeon and stuff like that. While not being an active part of the plot right now, it could be. So yeah, you're actually right. I would love the idea of having a full healer and full DPS job that can be spec'd in 2 different ways, like it is for the Arcanist, for example. Chemist, yeah. I want a melee caster real spell sword. Yeah, that's nice. I'd like to see a melee caster. So something like Agris or Jefdarian or Orlandu from Final Fantasy Tactics. That is not called Dark Knight or Holy Knight, but something like Spell Sword, yeah, which is the overall non-elemental or non-alignment term for this. I would love to see that. Would love to see something akin to a cleric melee healer with a mace and a shield, though I doubt it would be possible. But then again, the Red Mage is a caster with melee skills, so who knows? Yeah, I would love that. Melee caster, melee healer, that would be something, yeah, nice. What is that goddess? I don't know what she's talking about, but yeah. I would like a Geomancer or Green Mage, but both seem to use hammers. Geomancer can use the old White Mage abilities, Stone, Arrow, Water. Green Mage can use loads of debuffs and have a rotation like Red Mage, but physical then a magical combo. Yeah. Like I said, I don't like the name Green Mage. It's really not so hyped in the community, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I think Green Mage is from Final Fantasy XIV. right? Yeah, please correct me on that. I'm not sure. I'm not really familiar with green mage. Hot healer in the form of time mage maybe. Give support buffs too in the form of haste or slow offensive. Could include gravity and comet. Just a thought. Yeah. Comet is something that I really think time mage could throw in there. Yeah. Geomancer when? Yeah. Figuring Geomancer as DPS healer based on the Astro story. The dev team have a habit of hinting new classes like that. Yeah, that's where my obvious choice or my bets go for the Geomancer. It's actually in-game. It's a part of the Astrologian job quest line. So yeah, could be a hint from Square Enix. I'd love to see a blood magic using edgy vampire type healer. All the healing jobs in Final Fantasy XIV are Uru, fairy, stars, ponies. Yeah. You're right. You're right. We want to see more blood. We want to see more darkness. The Dark Knight is edgy. He's not emo. I think he's definitely not emo. The storyline is actually very mature, apart from the Moogle parts. Yeah, I would love to see something dark in the caster section or healer section, actually. That would be very nice. Geomancer as healer maybe. Maybe they're getting ready for it because they did change White Mage Stones and Arrow to Glare and Dire. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, Geomancer could be a healer as well. I think I have a good idea about that in my 2 cents. But yeah, stick around for this video on hopefully on Sunday. A Reaper with a Scythe, that would be cool. Yeah, I don't know what role that could be. Maybe a melee caster or melee. Maybe like the Dark Knight that was in Final Fantasy XI. He's Scythe using melee DPS that really deals an insane amount of damage by sacrificing HP or anything like that. That would be amazing for a DPS job, I think. Exorcist. I'm not sure about Exorcist, but I like them, especially on their visual appearance in Tactics Ogre. I like how they are able to, being powerful against all the undead things, but I think Exorcist is something you can only put into the game when you have actual undead enemies. I know, I'm not sure if they introduced that in Garlemald or if you really have a very dark themed expansion, maybe, yeah. I don't know. Exorcist could be then introduced when we have undead enemies. Time Mage or Necromancer. Yeah, Necromancy, like I said, the same applies to this as well. Dark themed expansion and yeah, being part of this undead. We need undead people, undead enemies, undead NPCs. That makes sense here. Okay. BST, limited DPS, captures monsters and use them for different functions. Puppet Master, limited DPS, constructs automatons with different roles. Okay, that is actually a good idea. That is very creative. Chemist, limited healer, combines consumables and materials for a variety of effects. Geo Healer specializes in ground targeting healing effects. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of ground targeting in Final Fantasy XIV because this is really laggy sometimes and has some issues, and yeah, I'm not sure about this. The idea is nice, of course, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of ground targeting. They definitely need to rework that if they're focusing on this with the Geomancer healer. Shaman from 4 Heroes of Light. Yeah, I would definitely say we don't go for a Shaman. Shaman is very much... if you hear the word Shaman, you think about everything else but not Final Fantasy. I think my first initial thoughts go to World of Warcraft, obviously. So they cannot name it Shaman. I think Shaman is actually from the lore, from sticking to elements and the nature and environment and the earth, the planet. It's actually Geomancer. So yeah, Shaman is Geomancer. It's specialized in leech healing, drain line spells for DPS heals, sacrifice line spells, Thaumaturge 1.0 spell for non-draining heals. Yeah, it's a good idea, I think, especially on the playstyle aspect, but I just wouldn't call it Shaman. So yeah, a vampire shadow priest style that is named like Geomancer or anything like that, or Reaper maybe. More Final Fantasy like, I don't know. Definitely an incoming healer job, but I think they should stop there for now. There are way too many jobs already. I don't know. I think the hype for an expansion is reduced when you don't have a new job coming. Don't get me wrong, I know what you want to tell us there, that the balancing could be crushed each time a new job is coming into the game. And this is most of the times this is true actually, but they will fix that in at least one patch after the release patch. So yeah, I don't think it's... I would have the sensational element and the excitement for a new job that is way more important than balancing, to be honest. I don't want Chemist as any job. The most lame idea for the Warrior of Light, everything but please no Chemist. Yeah, I don't think that Chemist would be the poster boy for the expansion. So yeah, if you get the idea of the dancer, he's not part of the story. We don't have any dancer being part of the story so far, or an important part of the story. So dancer wouldn't fit to the Warrior of Light, no. But Chemist as a side character, and for the opportunity that you as Warrior of Light could learn that part, that job, that class, I think it's still a good opportunity. Yeah, but of course, not being the poster boy to this expansion, naturally. My wet dream is a healer based on Gaia with hammer. Yeah, I would love a melee healer with maybe a strong two-handed weapon that heals by dealing damage. That would be my best wish I could throw at you. Okay, so I'm sorry, this video is already just so long, but I really wanted to cover all your amazing ideas and thoughts you shared with me on this post. So I hope that I didn't miss anyone. Please, if that was the case, my dearest apologies for this. Yeah, I hope that this is a good point of getting started, and I think this is already creating a very nice general opinion or overview on what the community thinks about this topic and what we expect for the expansion to have. Yeah, I really got some special things that are not mentioned here in my video, so yeah, make sure to hit it up on hopefully on Sunday to be informed about my personal opinion and how I see the Geomancer, for example, to be part of the lore, and how they could establish that into the lore and let it flow perfectly into the actual plot telling. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you watched until this point, I'm very excited, I'm very thankful. Thank you for your amazing patience. I hope that yeah, you still like the form of video, and I'm sorry for my English like always. I'm still in practice and I'm trying to do my best in still being a bit emotional, and I think the scripted content is it's difficult to be emotional on that scripted content. So I would love to provide some feedback, and if I'm talking about community things like this and community feedback, I think this is the only possible way of talking to you. So yeah, I need practice in English. Let's do this together. Let's become this community we all wish for, and thank you all for watching. Keep it up, stay safe, check out the video on Sunday hopefully, and until then, keep loving Final Fantasy.